One of the big ideas of the play is the main character trying getting people to look at him and connecting to people. And I think that's something that a lot of people, especially young people, are trying to do nowadays. It's all about selfies and about trying to connect on the internet and just trying to get some kind of getting people to notice you. And so I suppose that this is taking that idea and making it extreme in the sense of this guy is getting lots of bits of things done to him in order to make people look at him because he wants that kind of connection. I want them to be moved. It's quite shocking. It deals with very raw subject matter, so I want them to be kind of thrilled and shocked and moved, and it's funny as well, so I want people to be entertained. But really I want people to go on this journey with the main character, this young guy called Bryn, who's just trying everything he can to get this kind of want and get this connection. So I want people to follow that journey with him, and at the end, hopefully, I want them to kind of recognise that in themselves and go, ooh, what do I do to make myself feel validated and things? I'm really excited! Because I had one, because I was in the first season here, and I'm so really grateful to Ricky and John and Stratford East for having me back, but it's just because I've been writing this for a really long time, like 18 months, it's going to be interesting to see what it's like in front of people, and I'm going to be absolutely terrified.
What I was inspired by and wanted to highlight was the fact that people with learning disabilities, and in particular I think mild and moderate learning disabilities, often are seen as different by society, and people don't understand why, and they get picked on for all kinds of spurious reasons. But I think broadly I'm interested in anybody in our society who gets treated differently or adversely because of their difference. It's something that I feel extremely passionately about. I think what's important to me in any of my work, both as an actor and as a writer, is to create characters. And people meet characters and they see those characters as being, what they see are the things that are the same about that person. That everybody has the same hopes and dreams, and so what I'm hoping is that people are excited and inspired by the story, and then if they take away any other understanding about a person with learning disability, then that's a bonus. With Katy specifically, who's the lead character, she actually, for the majority of the play, is unaware that the person that she's fond of, Roxy, is part of this gang. However, in a more broad context, and I have done quite a lot of theatre work with young people and for young people, I believe that a lot of young people seek out a gang as a family and as a way of belonging. And I think young people have a lot of different choices in our society and have a lot of things coming at them. And I think broadly, I think our society kind of demonises young people in lots and lots of ways. And I think young people are absolutely amazing and wonderful. And yes, I think there are a huge amount of challenges, and for me personally, the fact that a lot of young people end up dying as a result of knife crime at the moment is another thing that I feel very angry about, actually. Excited. I've had a research and development process on the play first, which is fantastic, and I'm very lucky that other artists wanted to work on it before, but having Ricky be interested in it is amazing and wonderful, and also very challenging. Stratford East is very dear to my heart. It's one of my favourite theatres in London, probably the favourite theatre in London, for loads and loads of reasons, for the diversity of its work, and also because it really genuinely does aim to reflect London and society on its stages. And I think that's very exciting. And also in its audiences, it actually has an audience that really reflects London and its whole community and the community next door to the theatre, and I think that's very important.
Sunday was inspired because I wanted to explore same-sex relationships in a Nigerian family and also explore religion. The play is about a family of women, grandmother, mother and daughter. And the daughter comes out as gay and it's kind of like unleashes all these secrets and lies in the family that no one knew about and no one spoken about. And the purpose is kind of to force people to really look at themselves and to kind of examine themselves and to ask themselves questions about how they perceive religion, how they perceive gayness, and look at where those ideas come from. Yeah. I think it's definitely controversial, especially with the use of the religion aspect, because I've thrown a few Bible verses back and forth, and I think whenever you put religion in these situations, people ultimately have two kind of, depending on where you're from, which of the fence you sit on, people kind of have two ideas, being that if you're really religious, then you can throw so many Bible verses out there and you will always be right. And on the other side, it's like if you're not so religious, then you always find little holes in between to actually pick out. And I try to bring those two out and put them against each other. I'm so excited. I'm really nervous, but I'm really, really excited. I can't wait. I think it's a great location to have the play in because it's definitely the crowd that I want to see it, in the sense of the locals. I definitely want to challenge people, but hopefully they won't challenge me. They challenge me, and they just like watch the play and kind of like have discussions, but not ask me anything. But I think it'll be great, and I can't wait to actually have it on and to see what people think about it, really.
Especially with Jams, the main character, he uses his gym and masculinity to hide a lot of issues that is going on with him. And it's not until that the penultimate scene in the play where he kind of brings it out and is actually honest with his feelings. I can't. I mean, I'm very nervous. Because I'm an actor as well. So like I've been in front of like audiences of like God knows how many people, and it's always been like, because I've been doing it since I was younger, so I've developed this. I don't know, if I can do it, it's fine. But just to sit back and watch and like, let people like watch your work, and especially I find writing is very, very, very vulnerable. Whereas acting is kind of like not masking it, but because you're playing arguably somebody else, so it's like that. But because it's writing, it's like that's practically your soul on stage, and you just have to watch it like unfurl. Oh yes, just because of the area. I mean, I'm East London, born and bred all my life, and so I would like to think there's a East London feel to the play. Not just East London, but more of a London feel. But I think this type of area, Stratford, I think people that live around here. I would love to say that they will get it or get something from it.
I love theatre that teaches and shows you a world that you didn't know about, and writing a play about a Chinese Jamaican and learning about the politics of that history. I thought was intriguing, interesting, and something that I think needs to be told. And I'm all about telling things that are not the norm, not the status quo. I feel that a lot of the theatre I see is becoming a bit monotone. I want to see all different types of people on stage. I think it's healthy. It means that the audience can learn about other people's lives. I mean, showing different classes, different backgrounds, different colours, different genders, different sexualities. I think that's just only something that enriches the arts and enriches our society, and means that we can learn and become more mindful and more intelligent. I think this is a very important tool for that sort of stuff. How the Chinese ended up as a diaspora in Jamaica, and how the Chinese have travelled all over the world, and there's a culture of Chinese people moving to different countries to make money. And the history in Jamaica itself, about how the culture itself formed from the very beginnings. Slavery, and then colonization, slavery, and then decolonization, and then the political upheaval after that. And the fact that, a lot of the people I meet have a very kind of simplified view of the Caribbean as being Bob Marley and black, whereas I'm discovering, and I hope that people discover through this play, that there's a whole mixture of different people that live there, and the Jamaican society is built on a whole melting pot. And the play is set in modern times and in 1960s Jamaica. When it's set present day London. Yeah. So that story follows a British Chinese youth who's an ex-offender, and he's East Asian descent, but he doesn't know anything about his culture. I don't know if that's a choice or whether it just didn't happen for him. But he through his relationship with a Jamaican woman, she activates his desire to want to know more about himself. So it's about British identity and ethnicity, and how we discover that and link it up, and what it means, and whether you're one or the other, or whether you're everything all at the same time, which is what I believe. You don't have to be one or the other. Yeah. He's a British East Asian, he's British, or he's British Chinese, or he's, he would say he's Chinese, but born and bred in London. Yeah. It's relevant to contemporary London, it's contemporary society, modern society. This play is relevant to now, very much relevant to what it is. I want them to feel that their mind has been expanded, and that they've learnt about a world which they might not have known about before they walked into the theatre. Yeah. I want people to see theatre that's different. I want them to leave feeling that something cool and different has been created, and that it can happen again. I want people to see Chinese people on stage. I want black people on stage, young people on stage. I want different topics and subjects which you wouldn't usually see on stage. Yeah, I love the Stratford East. I've worked here about 3-4 times. I was in Takeaway here, which was the first British Chinese musical. Wow. And then I did Cinderella here and played Dondini, who had a rude boy accent and then a posh accent, depending on who he was talking to, and then come out with some Jamaican patois as well. Brilliant. Stratford East take risks. I love that. Yeah. Other theatres, not taking enough risks. Yeah. I feel that maybe it's because we're in a recession that people are not willing to take risks. They're going for the safest option. Jamaica Boy is not a safe option. It makes people wonder how they're going to be able to put it on. They feel really far away from the idea of it. But it's all about being brave and going in.